Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about measures of variability and measures of center and what they really stand for. So for measures of center, sorry about my handwriting here. The three measures of center are mean, median, and mode. Measures of center are used to represent the data as a whole. So, like we use for your grades, we use the mean, the average, to represent your grade as a whole. So it's used to represent the data as a whole. So when you're asked as a question that says, which measure of center is the best to use in this scenario? The best measure of center to use is usually the mean. Okay, we want to use the mean as our best measure of center to represent data when the data is pretty symmetric or evenly laid out and there's no giant outliers. The only time or the main time that you're going to want to use the median, the best time to use the median is if there's an outlier. This is the best one to use if you have an outlier. Remember, an outlier is a number that's far away from the rest of the pieces of data. The mean is going to be used otherwise. Mode is really never going to be the best one to use as your measure of center to represent your data. Okay? A lot of people will also think that range is a measure of center because we've all learned mean, median, mode, range at the same time. But range is not a measure of center, it is a measure of variability. So remember, the three measures of center are mean, median, and mode. They are used to represent the data as a whole. We want to use the mean to represent our data if there are no outliers. If there are outliers, you want to use the median. Then we have measures of variability. Okay? So, our measures of variability or spread we have three of them. We have range, we have the interquartile range or IQR, and we have the mean absolute deviation or the MAD. Okay? Measures of spread or variability are used to determine how predictable or consistent data is. Okay? So think about your grades. If you always make A's or B's, then your range is going to be between 80 and 100, okay? So your range would be a 20. Now say there's a student who sometimes makes hundreds but sometimes makes 40s. Their range would be 60. So they would have a higher variability. They would vary more. So if something varies more, are they going to be more consistent or less consistent? They'd be less consistent. Okay? So if I ask you who is more predictable, who has more consistency, you would look for the one with the smaller variability. Okay? So a smaller measure of variability, so a smaller range or IQR MAD, a smaller variability or spread means that it's more predictable or consistent. Equals more consistent or predictable. This is a very short video, so if you didn't take notes the first time you just watched it, please play it back and take these notes. It's going to be very important for you to know for your test. Thank you.